You know that feeling when Monday morning hits and you're already stressed about money before you even get out of bed? Like when you're lying there wondering if that Amazon order went through, whether your rent payment cleared, or if you have enough gas money to get through the week. And the worst part is, you have no idea where you actually stand financially. You're just hoping things work out. Most people spend their entire lives in this constant state of low-grade money anxiety. It's like a background hum that never goes away. You're not broke exactly, but you never feel financially secure either. You're just surviving, reacting to whatever financial surprise hits you next. But here's the thing. There's a specific 30-minute routine that completely eliminates this feeling. And it's not about making more money, cutting out your morning coffee, or following some complicated budgeting system that requires a PhD in spreadsheets to understand. It's about what you do every single Sunday night before the week begins. Most financial advice tells you to track every penny, review your spending monthly, or set it and forget it with automatic transfers. And look, that advice isn't wrong exactly, but it's missing something crucial. Monthly reviews are too infrequent to catch problems before they become disasters. Daily tracking is exhausting and unsustainable, and fully automated finances give you zero awareness of where your money is actually going. The sweet spot that nobody talks about? Weekly. Specifically, Sunday night. The Sunday night money reset is the single habit that separates people who feel in control of their money from people who feel controlled by it. And I'm not talking about some vague review your finances advice. I'm talking about a specific step-by-step ritual that takes less time than watching an episode of your favorite show, but will completely transform your relationship with money. I've spent years studying financial psychology and why some people seem to effortlessly manage their money while others are constantly stressed about it. And what I found is that it rarely comes down to income. It comes down to systems and habits. If you're someone who wants to actually feel in control of your finances instead of just hoping things work out, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a thumbs up if this video ends up changing how you think about your weekly routine. Now let me ask you something. When you think about Sunday nights, what comes to mind? Maybe you picture that creeping sense of dread about Monday morning, or maybe you're scrambling to finish things you procrastinated on all weekend. Perhaps you're just trying to squeeze out the last drops of relaxation before the work week begins. But here's what wealthy people understand that most folks completely miss. Sunday night isn't the end of your weekend, it's the launch pad for your week. And how you use those final hours before Monday determines whether you spend the next 7 days reacting to financial chaos or executing a clear plan. Think about it this way. Your finances are like a ship crossing the ocean. If you only check your course once a month, by the time you realize you're off track, you could be hundreds of miles from where you intended to go. But if you make small adjustments every week, you stay on course almost effortlessly. The Sunday night money reset is your weekly course correction. It's the 30 minutes that ensures you never drift too far from your financial goals without realizing it. Imagine trying to drive across the country with your eyes closed, only opening them once a month to see where you ended up. Sounds insane, right? Yet that's exactly how most people manage their money. They check their accounts occasionally, usually when something feels wrong, and then wonder why they're constantly surprised by where they end up financially. The Sunday reset is like opening your eyes every few miles. Small adjustments, constant awareness, no nasty surprises. But here's where it gets really interesting. The reason Sunday night specifically works isn't just about timing, it's about how your brain operates. Psychologists have identified something called the fresh start effect. Your brain is wired to respond to temporal landmarks like new weeks, new months, or new years as opportunities for change and reset. Sunday night is the most powerful weekly fresh start because your brain is already naturally shifting from weekend mode to planning mode. You're mentally preparing for the week ahead whether you realize it or not. By inserting a money ritual into this natural transition, you're hijacking your brain's existing pattern instead of fighting against it. And here's the kicker. When you make financial decisions on Sunday night, you're making them in a calm, non-reactive state. You're not standing in a store deciding whether to buy something. You're not emotionally responding to a bill that just arrived. You're proactively setting intentions for how your money will move over the next 7 days. This is massive because research from behavioral economics shows that most poor financial decisions happen reactively. You're tired, stressed, or emotional, and you make a choice you later regret. But decisions made during a calm, structured review session are dramatically better on average. The data backs this up. A study from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau found that people who regularly engage with their finances, even just looking at their accounts weekly, have significantly higher financial wellness scores than those who avoid checking. We're talking about a difference of 15 to 20 points on their financial wellness scale. And get this, the improvements weren't because these people made more money. It was purely because awareness changed their behavior. When you know where you stand, you make different choices. When you're flying blind, you just hope for the best and usually get the worst. All right, let's get into the actual Sunday night money reset. This is the exact framework that takes about 30 minutes and will completely change how you experience your finances. Open every account you have, checking, savings, credit cards, all of it. Don't analyze anything yet. Just look at the numbers and write them down or put them in a simple note on your phone. Total in checking, total in savings, total credit card balance. This takes 2 minutes maximum, and it accomplishes something crucial. You now know exactly where you stand. No more vague anxiety about, I think I'm okay. You have hard numbers. That alone reduces financial stress significantly because uncertainty is usually worse than reality. Now look at what you spent in the last 7 days. Most banking apps categorize this automatically. You're not judging yourself here. You're just observing. What categories did your money go toward? Food, entertainment, shopping, bills, transportation? Here's the question that matters. Were any of these purchases decisions you made intentionally, or were they reactions? Did you buy lunch out 4 times because you planned to, or because you were tired and it was convenient? Did you make that Amazon purchase because you needed it, or because you were bored at 11 p.m.? This isn't about shame, it's about awareness. Most people have no idea how much of their spending is unconscious. When you review weekly, patterns become obvious you'd never notice otherwise. Now shift your focus forward. What bills are due this week? What planned expenses do you have? Are there any social events, subscriptions renewing, or automatic payments hitting your account? Write it all down. Create a simple list of what's leaving your account over the next 7 days. Then compare that number to what's currently in your checking account. This is where most people get surprised. They have a vague sense that they're fine, but when they actually map out the week, they realize Friday is going to be tighter than they thought, or they realize they have more breathing room than they assumed and can move some money to savings. The point is, you know before it happens. No more how did I overdraft or where did my paycheck go. You saw it coming because you looked ahead. Now comes the part that actually changes your behavior. Based on your review and forecast, set 2 or 3 specific money intentions for the week. These aren't vague goals like spend less or save more. They're specific and actionable. Something like, I will bring lunch from home at least 3 days this week, or I will transfer $100 to savings on Wednesday when my paycheck hits, or I will not buy anything on Amazon this week without waiting 24 hours first. Here's why this matters. Your brain responds to specificity. When you've already decided what you're going to do, the decision is made. You don't have to use willpower in the moment because you already committed during your calm Sunday planning session. Finally, take a quick look at your overall picture. What's your total savings? What's your total debt? What's your net worth? Assets minus liabilities. You don't need to calculate this precisely every week. Just glance at it. Keep it on your radar. This 30-second check prevents something dangerous, losing sight of the big picture while focusing on day-to-day survival. I've seen people who are crushing their weekly budget, but somehow their debt keeps growing because they're ignoring a subscription they forgot about or interest charges they're not tracking. The weekly net worth glance catches these leaks before they become floods. Here's what happens after you've done this for a few weeks. You stop being someone who hopes their finances work out and become someone who knows their finances are handled.
This identity shift is everything because it affects decisions you make week-long. When you're at the store considering a purchase, you don't have to wonder if you can afford it. You already know your weekly forecast. When a friend invites you somewhere expensive, you can confidently say yes or no based on where you actually stand, not based on anxiety or false optimism. You become the type of person who handles their money proactively. And that identity,
once it's established, is self-reinforcing. The Sunday ritual feels natural because it's just what you do now. It's who you are. But here's where it gets even better. When you have this weekly clarity, you start seeing opportunities you would have missed before. Maybe you notice you actually have an extra $200 this month because you spent less than expected. Before, that money would have just quietly disappeared into random spending. Now you can intentionally direct it towards savings, debt payoff, or something you actually value. Or maybe during your review, you notice a subscription you forgot you were paying for. That's money you get back every month going forward. Small leaks that would have drained your accounts for years get caught in weeks instead. The Sunday night reset turns your finances from a source of stress into a source of opportunity. Instead of avoiding your accounts because you're afraid of what you'll see, you look forward to checking in because you're curious about your progress. Now, you might be thinking this sounds exhausting, another thing to add to your already packed schedule. But here's the counterintuitive truth. This 30 minutes on Sunday actually saves you hours of stress and mental energy throughout the week. Think about how much time you currently spend worrying about money. Those little moments of anxiety when you're not sure if a purchase is okay, the mental math you try to do at the checkout line, the low-grade stress that follows you through your day because you don't really know where you stand. That mental overhead is expensive. It consumes energy you could be using for work, relationships, creativity, or just enjoying your life.
The Sunday reset eliminates most of that overhead by front-loading the thinking. You do 30 minutes of focused financial thinking so you can spend the rest of the week free from money anxiety. And here's something that might surprise you. This habit affects way more than just your finances. When you start your week with clarity and intention, it spills over into everything else. You show up to work on Monday more focused because you're not distracted by money worries. You make better decisions because your mental bandwidth isn't consumed by financial uncertainty. I've heard from people who started this habit and noticed improvements in their productivity, their sleep, and even their relationships. When money stress is handled, you have more capacity for everything else in your life. Now, here's where most people mess this up. They try to turn the Sunday reset into a massive financial overhaul every week. They spend 2 hours going through every transaction, categorizing everything perfectly, and creating elaborate spreadsheets. Don't do this. The goal is 30 minutes, not perfection. If your system requires hours to maintain, you'll abandon it within a month. The power of this habit is its sustainability. A simple 30-minute routine you do every week beats a complex 3-hour routine you do twice and then give up on. Keep it simple, keep it consistent. That's the whole game. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Let's say it's Sunday night and you sit down for your reset. You check your accounts and see $1,847 in checking, $4,200 in savings, and $2,100 on your credit card. You review the past week and notice you spent $340 on food, which is higher than you thought. Looking closer, you see you ordered delivery 4 times because you were working late. You forecast the upcoming week. Rent hits on Thursday for $1,200, a phone bill is due for $85, and you have a friend's birthday dinner on Saturday that might cost $50. Your checking after these expenses will be around $512. That's tighter than you'd like. So your intentions for the week become bring lunch every day, skip any unnecessary purchases, and maybe suggest a cheaper restaurant for the birthday dinner. You also notice your credit card balance has crept up by $400 over the past month. You decide to increase your payment this week to start reversing that trend. Total time, 25 minutes. But now you know exactly where you stand, exactly what's coming, and exactly what you're going to do about it. You go to bed with zero financial anxiety because there are no unknowns. You've already seen the whole picture and made a plan. This is what financial control actually looks like. It's not about making more money, though that helps. It's not about extreme frugality or deprivation. It's about awareness and intention. When you know where your money is and where it's going, you can make it work for you instead of wondering where it went. Look, 30 minutes on Sunday night isn't going to make you rich overnight, but it will do something almost more valuable. It will give you peace. That constant background hum of money anxiety that most people live with, gone. That feeling of being behind and never catching up, replaced with clarity and progress. Your financial life is just a series of weeks stacked on top of each other. Master the week, and you master the year. Master the year, and you master your financial future. Start this Sunday, just 30 minutes.
Your future self, the one who feels in control, confident, and finally free from money stress, is counting on the decision you make right now. Trust me, they'll thank you for it.